All right, everybody. Welcome to the Internet Sports Broadcast Network with our three amigos, Todd Frank, Donovan Hughes, Hardy Burke, where we talk state of sports and cover what happened last week. Hey, by the way, guys, I thought it's kind of funny that Kansas City scored so many points that they ran out of fireworks.
Right? What a crazy game.
Let's dig in, man. Wherever y'all want to start, somebody jump in. I see that I'll jump in because we just, by the way, folks, when we talk, we just go all over. We're not in any format. We just talk. I see that the New York Giants are considering Jason Garrett. Did I read that today?
Yeah.
Really?
You know what? I can only pray that he goes there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Holy smokes.
That's awesome. No, that'd be a perfect landing spot because he should have been a coordinator, for the last 12 years. So.
Right.
Well, you know what? Maybe once he's out from underneath the controlling Jerry, he might actually develop his own personality and start doing individual think instead of group think from the top down.
Yeah.
We'll see. Well, we got a lot to talk about tonight. I'm just going to throw out some subjects and we'll dive into them. First, not the first one, but just one we need to discuss is the baseball scandal going on right now.
Wow.
Well, the scandal's already over.
Yeah, well, I know, but I mean, talking about the fallout. And we'll talk about pro football. We'll talk about some college, the playoff game, get y'all's opinion on that a little bit, and all from there. So who wants to start? Donovan, you got anything you want to jump in on?
Well, no, I mean, we can talk about the.
Let's do the Astros.
Yeah.
Maybe.
We talk about. Yeah, I mean, the Astros. I'm curious to see how they play next year and how much it affected how good they were. I heard today that they stopped during the season last year, or I'd say this year, this last season. They stopped doing the technical call signing, stealing calls, stealing the signs.
So that just tells me they figured out another system.
Well, I mean, they're always going to try to get an edge on whatever. I mean, every team tries to do it, but there's a certain point. There's right and wrong when it comes to that. So
yeah,
but they quit using it because apparently they didn't get the results that they wanted from it. I mean, banging on the trash can. I mean, how good is that?
Yeah, and whistling and
yeah.
God.
Yeah, but being a ex-baseball player, if you got a camera, at least you have a shot to guess, right? And if you learn the sequence of the signs well enough by shooting it, then shoot it down the dugout and then say, okay, change up, come and hit the garbage can. At least you got a shot, right?
Yeah.
There's a little advantage there.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny how
the players might be saying that because they don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, but I can tell you that sometimes just because you have advanced knowledge of something, it may not always give you an advantage. You would think that it would, but you still have the moment and the player and the pitch.
Still got to hit it.
And you still might not hit it too, because sometimes, having your alertness and stuff, because you have to have, full situational awareness to make a good action, good decision. If you've already got it in your mind, this is what it's going to be, it may actually kind of work opposite of what you think, as far as being able to execute. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, the fallout is you lost the manager and general manager for the Astros, and you lost the manager for the Boston Red Sox. And then who knows else where it's going to go,
well,
right?
And then there was the little slap on the wrist of $5 million, which that to me is analogous to when it's just
slap on the wrist.
Yeah, it's don't do it again, or if you do, we might have to make it more next time.
And I think the other big thing that happened in baseball yesterday was Donaldson left the Braves to go to Milwaukee, which Minnesota Twins. You think about how good they were last year with their long ball. Add Donaldson to that lineup. Holy smokes, they're going to be incredible.
Yeah,
y'all know what I'm talking about, right?
I don't follow baseball as much as you do, Hardy.
Okay,
but,
right. Well, Donaldson hit 37 home runs last year. He played for the Braves. He's a veteran, and he's going over a team that led the American League in home runs last year. Okay.
Oh wow. Okay.
You're putting him in between Cruz and all those home run hitters. I mean, it's really like, except for their leadoff and their last batter, they're all capable of smacking home runs. So they're going to be a team hard to beat because of the amount of runs they'll score. You know, I don't care how
Yeah.
bad their pitching is, they'll score runs. So, they'll be like the Yankees probably. So
Wow.
we'll see. All right. Well, enough
So
of that.
Hurdy and Donovan, I mean, we all know that every team's always looking for an edge, right?
Right.
And of course the Astros, they got caught with their hand in the cookie jar.
Right.
You two think that there are a lot of other MLB teams out there doing something similar?
No, they're all doing it. It's at some point.
And I was thinking, why not just get a drone with like a, precision high def camera and maybe plant a few listening devices somewhere? And it's like, man,
Well,
you got it.
there's other ways to do it that's legal. For instance, if you were to like film the pitcher, right, or look at one of his games and see if he's tipping himself off, the way he stands, the way he holds his glove, the way,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? There's
Right.
real legit ways that you can look for tip-offs, maybe you do a
Right.
nervous switch or something before you throw the curveball. Maybe you spin the ball in
Right.
the glove 3 times instead of once. They have guys that look at that all the time. And that's allowed,
Yeah, well, it's like when Lamar Jackson was like, whenever he was going to do a pass, it was blatantly obvious that he would go clean his hand off on his towel behind his
right.
back.
And those are
And-
those subconscious
and it was
things we
like-
do. Right.
Yeah, and it was like right in the middle of the game, and they're like, yeah, every time he touches the towel, he does a throw, and boom,
Right.
it's like in the next few plays that ended because it was brought to their attention that he's tipping them off.
Right, and then you got the coaches in the pitcher coaches that are watching that from the dugout, right? And if they see it, they'll clue in the pitcher. You can't do that. You're not moving your hands up enough when you throw the curveball. You're looking. It's obvious that you're giving away what you're throwing. So there's all sorts of ways to look at things. I mean,
Well, and don't they send out scouts? I mean,
yeah,
you know,
they
send
film.
out-
They have film they can look at that MLB shares around. I'm pretty sure, right? Like football games, you can get video and other teams and plan against them. But I mean, runners at second base might be able to pick up tips, from a catcher. Way he sits, the way he stands, if he's going to throw it inside, outside, they look for little tips and they'll tip their hat or something. But
So is it correct in saying that the Astros really didn't do anything bad except they got caught because everybody else does something along those lines?
well, yeah,
Yeah.
I suppose, except I think what MLB is trying to do is saying, if you are doing this, we're going to get you. And, now's the time to stop because the penalty's heavy, right? Managers get fired. I don't know.
Because even in like the NFL, like
They
somebody
do it
gets
too.
traded to another team, are you telling me they don't take their playbooks with them?
They do.
No, they do. They don't. A lot of times they'll grab them
Yeah.
from them.
Yeah,
They won't let them out of the building until they have it.
right. And then somebody was talking about somebody got busted like grabbing playbooks out of trash cans. It's like, all right, so who took their playbook and threw it in the trash can?
Well,
I mean,
I'm
whatever advantage at pro level these people can get, they're going to try it till they get caught. And I think you're right, Todd. I think if you're sitting here telling me of all the Major League Baseball teams that only 2 got caught, right.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, I think there's just pervasive sports espionage,
Right.
and I'm sure people get paid and other things. And
But
Yeah.
see, I think what they should do, and it's probably wrong, but in today's age would be really nice in baseball if they just wouldn't allow any electronics at all in the dugout and just let these guys go out, throw it, and catch it, and hit it. You know what I'm saying?
well,
Just leave them all. Can't have any devices in the dugout. No cell phones, no nothing, no devices. Just get up and swing at it. If you hit it, great. Too bad.
here's my deal. This is my question. If you watch a major league game, if you just keep that tape and review that tape,
Right.
you're looking at the signs from the pitcher the whole time.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Every team knows that. They probably have 30 different sets of signs they can use.
Oh, and phony signs.
from the catcher's position, and whether you tap on your knee twice or touch your chest protector changes one of those signs, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like learning a playbook in NFL. The pitcher has to know what the playbook is. Or occasionally you're going to see that fastball that the catcher thought was going to be a curveball and it hits him in the face, right? Because he's not ready for it.
Yes and no, but if you have a tape on somebody for a whole year, you can't tell me they can't have a grad assistant or one of those assistants sit there and analyze every single game and say, okay, this is a set of this is when they're going to throw a curveball, bang, 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 and have it. And then when you can have somebody watching the TV, whether you have electronics in the dugout or not, and say, hey, they're in 5 instead of 42. And
right. But again, you'd have to also evaluate who's on base and what the count is, because pitches are not done just by you know, they're done by who's on first, who's on second, how many outs there are, you know, where the infield's playing. So they'd have to know everything. Right.
I don't, you know,
pitcher tendencies they look at. They look at tendencies.
Right. And that's always going to be there. And I kind of think it's better for the hitter sometimes to be instinctual instead of kind of knowing what's coming.
Yeah, because that's kind of one of those things where, like, if somebody tells you something's coming your way,
yeah, you get anxious.
You go ahead and you try to like prep for it and compensate for it. And I'm saying that I actually think, as counterintuitive as it sounds, it could like throw you off versus not knowing, and you're like, hey man, I don't know what's coming my way. You know, I better hunker down and get ready and pay attention versus like, oh, it's going to be a slider. I need to like adjust for this. And I just think it like mess that whole thing up.
I think the real good hitters study their pitchers, their opposition really well. They look at their tendencies. They look at what they tend to throw at certain counts. You know what I'm saying? And then they get up, and sometimes there's guessing. And you know the guess ones when the guy has a 2-ball strike on him, he's expecting a fastball, and he gets a curveball. That batter's not expecting that. He thinks he's going to get one right down the middle of the drive, so he looks like an idiot, right? The pitcher knows that. So, but that's a good guess if you're a batter standing at the plate to guess that's going to be a fastball, because you got to gear up for it. And then he throws a curveball, right? And you're toast. But so what? That's, you know, so it's tendency. The good hitters study the opposing pitchers and know what they do. And then hopefully they get a hit. Because remember, a good batting average is 1 out of 3, right? Pitcher always wins. Seems
sure. Yeah.
So there you go. Well, I don't know. I'm just knowing the fallout's pretty huge. That's what I'm more was thinking. You're talking about a great manager for the Astros going bye-bye and a general manager.
Well, you know what? They were complicit and they allowed it to happen. And of course, they say that it was all player driven, which I believe that, because, you know, if you're the player, you know, you want to, whether that edge is a legitimate edge or not, you're going to do whatever. Like if somebody tells you, hey, man, wearing your jock strap for a season, you know, not washing it's going to give you an edge. Man, it's like everybody's not going to wash your jock strap. You know, if they believe it's going to give them an edge.
The next fallout's going to be, what is the Mets going to do with Beltran? Are they going to keep him and just move on, or are they going to do something with him? Because he was part.
It's like that has yet to be seen, because he was right at the middle of the whole controversy.
Exactly.
Set it up.
And the Met organization may not want that trickling over into their backyard. So, you know, and here you are 3 months from spring training.
I'm going to say he gets a leave on that, and there are going to be no repercussions because he's not there.
Yeah.
But I do kind of feel like Pete Rose, Pete Rose goes, I didn't taint the game. Well, he didn't, and these guys did. And look at what they did to poor old Pete Rose.
Yeah. But both are bad. Pete was betting against his own team on games, right? To me, that seems pretty bad.
Well, to me, it's about the money.
That's not good.
And it's like, sometimes it's like you may not necessarily agree with a company and their company culture or what they kind of stand for. But, if you're trading a stock, you're looking for the profit. You're not looking for the ethics, right? So, it doesn't look so good to bet against your team. But if you suck, I mean, what the hell, It's like it's cash money in your wallet.
Exactly. Yep, I agree. So, all right, Donovan, jump us into some football here, man. You want to go college first?
Let's do it.
Let's talk about that championship game a little bit. put our
Wow.
thoughts into it.
What
Wow.
what a game. You know, I was the only one that was saying that I thought that Clemson would cover. Everybody that was at my house was saying LSU would win by 2 touchdowns even before the game started, and I was like, I think it's going to be closer. But man, LSU they did what they've done all year long. They just holy crap. I mean, you're looking at they scored a touchdown in the first quarter, 3 in the second quarter, and 1 in each of the third and the fourth quarter. And
Yeah.
and their defense, Dave Aranda is such a great coach. He made some great um, moves at halftime that really confused Taylor Lawrence. I mean, you could tell he was not comfortable throwing the football. And unfortunately for Clemson, they got away from the run. And NTN, whatever his name, I can't pronounce his name perfectly. He only had 15 touches the whole game. And if you can remember in the first half, every time he touched the ball, he was getting at least 5 or 6 yards.
Yeah.
I think he averaged over 5 yards a carry. And I just don't know why they got away from that part of it. On the flip side, I'm glad LSU won. They from start to finish, their closest game this year pretty much was the Texas game.
It was Auburn, 23-21 in Texas game. Both those teams played them really well.
They were a 3rd and 18 away from losing that game.
Right.
And Texas game, and they found a way to win. And it seems like every week they got better, got better, and they finished strong. It hurts Texas with recruiting, with LSU doing so well, but man, they showed up and played like they have all year, and I'm happy for them. But I have a lot of family. Shout out to them that are from Louisiana, and they were really excited, and I'm happy for them.
Yeah, I personally was impressed with Burrows because he was getting frustrated and in the way they were starting with bad field position, but he just kept his cool and his calm. Got a little bit out of control in the first quarter, right? They didn't change anything. They just started playing their game. And man, I give him credit because they were getting frazzled the first quarter, right? And but boy, to turn around and score 51 with 50 something points or 45 or something like that in 3 quarters.
They're 42 points. They scored 42.
Good grief!
Yeah, that game totally reminded me of the Texans game.
Yeah.
It was the tale of like 1 quarter versus 3 quarters.
Yeah, if you told me at the end of the first quarter when Houston was up 24-0 or something like that, or 28, that they were going to lose that game, I would have laughed at you. But then I saw the second quarter and I went, "Holy smokes!" And what is 51-25 or some disgusting score? Or something like 51-31. Unbelievable.
Yeah, Donovan sent me a text. They're like, "Man, Texans are going to rock." And it's like, man, I'm going to stick with the Chiefs, I was like, we still got a lot of game. And, man, I tell you what, it turned around very quickly in that second quarter.
Very quick.
It was, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
Well, that was 3 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns.
In 1 quarter, within 3 minutes.
In 3 minutes, yeah.
Well, y'all do realize that Idiot Boy, the coach of the Texans, decides to fake punt from his own, like, 35 or 40-yard line? I mean, what? And you're down there up 21-0 with inside the 10, and with 1 foot to go on the fourth down, and you kick a field goal.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to roll the dice, you roll the dice on the other side of the field, not on your side of the field.
That was a momentum changer, and I'm telling you, you never know when it is. But I will tell you what, if I'd been the coach of Houston on that play, I would have flagged that run. I thought that guy made that first down. I don't think he was down, but enough said. You got to go for that. You're up already. You've got him reeling. Go for the juggler, and they didn't turn around.
I understand taking the points,
I do too.
Me as a coach, I would have took the points. But my thing is if you're going to gamble on a play, that's where you gamble on it, and not on your own. Not when you're up like that, and the chance of the momentum changing like that, and giving them an easy score. Oh my, come on!
they pay me $1 million a year, I can make that decision.
Yeah, that wasn't a gamble. that was a gamble on field position. You know, I mean, that was bad.
Yeah.
But that's not believing in your defense is what it is, and they were doing good at that point. They were doing great.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, so they just made some mistakes. But that Clemson quarterback, I noticed, did not look the same as he did in the championship game last year. He was overthrowing all game long, probably because of the rush, but he seemed to be high the whole game, right? Like something was wrong with his hand or something, you know. I mean, it just didn't look right after the first quarter. So who knows?
Well, he is human, and
yep, he's good. He a sophomore this year?
Yeah, a true sophomore.
And he'll be back for another championship run.
He'll be back, and and I was watching ESPN today, and they were, putting Burrow up against Lawrence on if they both came out at the same time right now, who would be the number one pick? And like 4 out of the 5 said they would take Lawrence. And because just of his intangibles that he has, like arm strength and but I don't understand that, because Joe Burrow has got I watched the game again. He's got a cannon. I know on one of them he threw 60 yards.
Yeah, he's also 235 pounds and like 6'5" and runs over you like a freight train.
Well, I'm just saying, arm strength. Yeah. If you can throw 60 yards, I don't know why they said that. They were like, yeah, well, but accuracy wise, I think Joe Burrow's got it on him, on Lawrence. Now, Lawrence is still young, and you have to, Joe Burrow's been in the system for 5 years? This is his 5th year.
Yep.
This is Tyler Lawrence's, whatever his name is.
Second year.
Right. So we'll see at the end of the day, but they'll always kind of be compared to each other when they get to the NFL, and that's kind of cool. And we have such a great crop of young quarterbacks right now in the NFL. It's very exciting.
It's changed the whole dynamic of the league.
It has.
The way that plays are run, the way that offenses are set up, it's amazing.
Yep. Absolutely.
And defenses are having to adjust and come up with speedier guys too. You know what I'm saying? To cover these talented wide receivers. So it's completely changing the NFL. But especially when you have a team that scores 51 points in a playoff game.
So Mahomes. I mean, early in that game with Mahomes, his spots were his passes were spot on. But his receivers, man, you could tell they had like the jitters,
the hips,
and they couldn't, catch a ball, if they had a gun held to them. And then they finally calmed down, and that's when it all changed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
they were terrible. Their receivers were terrible the first quarter, but when they settled down, they just tore them up. Well, I'm gonna let's brag on the Tennessee Titans for a minute.
Wow.
How about Henry?
Go ahead, Hurdy.
My point was that I said that if they could hold the ball and run, they would win that game, keep that other offense off the field, right?
Yep.
And they did exactly that. I'm not sure Kansas City can stop Henry. I'm not convinced they can stop him.
The way that offensive line, what bothers me is Henry's a great running back. Trust me, I see it. I see it. He's slow though, but he's big and he goes. But that offensive line, my goodness,
they're good.
Oh my! They don't give them enough credit. That's the best offensive line I've seen in a long time. I went back and I kept rewinding it, and they were blowing them up. I mean, you never see that in Baltimore.
And when you got a running back like Henry, they take pride in making that happen. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So it's a confidence builder both ways. And I'm telling you, I think I'm going to just say it right now. I think Tennessee might win this game against Kansas City. I know they scored 51 points, but the way that the Titans played defense, they backed everybody up. They played everything in front of them. They didn't give up huge plays, right? And they just kept everything kind of in front of them. They just seem to have the right scheme for that, So we'll see. I think Kansas City's good. So.
And here's the deal, though. Jackson is not on the same planet as Mahomes throwing the football either.
No, I agree. I said I think Kansas City. I honestly think Kansas City should win, But I'm saying they can't go in there and take for granted that they're playing Tennessee. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Tennessee racked up over 200 yards rushing.
Yeah,
Just Baltimore.
Tannehill only had to throw for 86 yards.
Yeah, and they threw for 79 the week before and won. So
yeah, he was like 7 of 9 for 86 yards.
They rushed for 200 something yards a game.
Yeah.
So what was the Ravens defense? Didn't they have one of the top ranked defenses?
Well, they got blocked off the field.
Yeah.
Literally.
Right. Yeah, but weren't they like in the top 3 defenses?
Yeah.
They were top 8.
Top 8.
Top 8.
Yeah. But I mean, goodness gracious. I've never seen anything like that when they're going to run. The funny thing is Tannehill's an able quarterback and he's mobile too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he played receiver at A&M for 2 years before he was quarterback. And the funny thing is, as soon as they stack the box, they go over the top on him.
And they play action because they have to respect Henry being handed off the ball. I mean, it's just tough for a defense, right?
Yeah.
It's tough for linebackers. It's tough for cornerbacks to figure out what they're doing.
Well, I love old school football.
And that's what you saw.
I saw that, and I'm hoping that they go all the way and win it all.
I think, like I said, they're going to give Kansas City a run for their money.
Oh, yeah.
Big time. And I don't care where they play, who they're playing. If they beat Baltimore and New England, don't you know they're confident going to Kansas City?
Oh, yeah.
For Pete's sake. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. San Francisco looked good.
They took care of business.
Yeah. They're kind of that sleeper team. Seattle almost came back and beat Green Bay after looking terrible for 3 quarters.
Yeah. I'm not sold on Green Bay this year, but Aaron Rodgers, good Lord, you can't keep him out of any game.
Experience. Experience matters now.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, you got Garoppolo against Rodgers, and I mean, if it comes down to who has the ball last or experience, obviously Rodgers is going to win it. He's done it so many damn times.
And
it's ridiculous.
How long has it been since we've seen a playoff between the Packers and the San Francisco 49ers?
It's been like the 90s, right?
Right. It was either Dallas, Green Bay, or San Francisco.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But
the whole 90s. Yep.
Right. So this is kind of an old 90s matchup, right?
Yeah. The only difference is they throw it all over the field.
Right. And are they playing in Lambeau?
No.
They're playing in San Francisco, right? Yeah. Good for San Francisco.
Yeah.
Lucky guys.
Yeah. Yeah. No snow, right?
Right. So, all right. And so what else, guys? Come on.
Man, so here's on a good note for my Longhorns. And I'm going to laugh.
Yeah, because you've been keeping up with them. So update us.
On the football team, okay?
Right.
So they've got their offensive coordinator and they got their defensive coordinator. They're starting to hire their position coaches, which is good. I think they're gonna finish pretty strong with the recruiting class this year. They've got some on the hook that are good, that haven't signed yet, but they will. I think they're gonna get. But they finished in the last poll of the year, 25th. So they finished in the top 25, and the Aggies were 26.
There you go.
Sorry. But
man, I sure hope they get that right. I sure hope they get that back on a schedule someday soon.
I do too.
That's just good for Texas and good for the whole thing.
It's good for football, period. College
football. It is, because they're so close together, and there's so many people in the state that are one or the other. It's just it just needs to come back.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
I'd like to see that happen. I really would. Too. Or Texas leave and go to the SEC, one or the other.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that, actually.
I would too.
I used to not, but I at this point, the SEC is such a juggernaut, and they're about to sign a new deal that's going to, with it money-wise, with ESPN, exclusive rights.
Right.
And when they do that, it's going to, like right now, the Pac-14 or Pac-12, whatever they are now, they're banking on there being some shuffling around with media rights and how the games are broadcast, streaming and stuff. But the way it's looking, ESPN is going to put all their eggs in the basket with the SEC, and we're talking SEC getting probably another $15 to $20 million a school more a year just on the TV rights on that.
And it's not just football at the SEC. It's baseball,
Yeah.
gymnastics, everything. They're good in all sports.
Well,
It's hard. It's hard to argue with them.
It's regionally, that's where we should go, and I think the Big 12 should be blown up. And I would like to take Oklahoma with us. Everybody else can kind of fend for themselves, if you ask me. But
yeah, I think Texas will be good in the SEC because number one, I think it opened up some other recruits too. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I think they get really competitive, right?
Well, I mean, the SEC, Texas is already in the SEC. It's
Well, I know that.
They're
but
already
I'm
recruiting.
just saying it's nice to have an SEC team, 2 SEC teams in Texas, right? 2 of the biggest schools would be really cool.
But a kid from Louisiana or Mississippi can come to UT and still there'll be some games in their home state.
Exactly.
Every year, which if they go to A&M, they can get that, but not with Texas.
Right.
So they got the SEC coming in and plucking kids from Texas, but you don't have as many kids coming from SEC country to Texas.
Well, man, I expect throughout all these broadcasts you keep us up to this, Donovan. And hey, I got some basketball news for you.
All right.
Auburn plays Alabama tonight. Auburn is one of the 2 teams, maybe the only team left that's undefeated. They're 15-0, and they're playing Alabama tonight at 8 on ESPN2. They're 15-0.
Wow, that's pretty cool. And my Longhorns are playing right now. And
you watching?
Well, no, I can't.
Oh, come on, man! Turn that TV on. No.
It's on ESPN Plus, so I've got to stream it. I'll catch a second half of it.
There you go.
But yeah.
So Todd, what you got to throw some stuff in here, man. So what? Oh, by the way, guess what comes up next month?
Next month, the Super Bowl.
February. Think about it. What happens?
Valentine's Day.
Well, that too. Daytona.
Oh yeah, first race of the year.
Yeah, and we'll start seeing we'll start hearing about all the different changes they've made to the cars, and we'll start seeing the Budweiser Challenge races to get their positions, and then we'll go into I think February 28th, right, Todd, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Man. So anyhow, just thought I'd throw that in.
Yeah, very nice.
You can tell Todd's excited about cars, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So UFC wise, you got the big UFC this weekend.
Oh yeah, that's this weekend.
Yep. You got McGregor and Cowboy Cerrone, and
he's picking on that one, Donovan.
I'm like I want Cowboy to win. So I heard a commentator talking about today that was laughing. He said, why does everybody think that McGregor's going to win this fight? He hasn't won a fight in like 3 years. And I started thinking, he hasn't won a fight in 3 years. So let that sink in a little bit. So,
yep.
I hope Cowboy wins. I'm tired of McGregor smacking his gums.
And that's pay-per-view for everybody that's listening.
It is pay-per-view, unfortunately. And
that's all right.
$80, $79.99.
That's a lot of money. Wow.
It is. That's why you got to have buddies. That's why you need buddies.
Yeah, you just pony up and divide it up and make one person pay the bill. That's not a bad idea either.
I just put
we are watching that at Donovan's house.
The UFC?
Yeah.
If I have it, y'all will be invited.
There you go.
Right, buddy?
Yeah.
Todd, do you buy that stuff?
No, Donovan does.
Oh, okay. All right. You split it with him or something?
I'm a crack baby. No, we just do it. I put a bouncer at the door, and I don't let anybody in under
That's
20
smart.
bucks. So.
Yeah, you got to pay cover.
Yeah.
But put a sign in your front yard that says "Fight here, pay to come in."
Yep. You get with that $20, you get admission, and you get 2 drinks.
You get one single beer and a pretzel.
Nope. You get 2 fingers, two drinks, and 2 fingers of Evan Williams, and then
wow,
you're on your own after that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And I usually have some food too. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're fun, guy. Well, okay. So this week we have 2 major playoff games, correct?
Yep, we do.
We got Green Bay and San Francisco. You guys want to make your call before we wind down tonight?
San Fran.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with San Fran.
Uh,
And I'm also gonna go with the Chiefs too.
I'm going to pick Green Bay, and then Chiefs and Tennessee. I'm going Tennessee. I just think that they've proven if they can beat the two teams in front of them, they can figure out a way. I'm going with Tennessee because I think they're going to hold the ball and keep the score down against Kansas City. I just believe that's going to happen.
I'm not going to be anti-Tennessee, right? I just think that they've been hitting on all 8 cylinders lately.
Right.
I think the other teams that they've played for whatever haven't shown up on game day. So I think it's been like a 3-game anomaly for Tennessee. I don't think it's going to hold.
Here's my prediction on that game. Henry will get his 100, but Tannehill will end up with probably 250 yards passing in that game. They're going to have to throw it.
There you go.
At some point, and I think he's going to be the one that actually takes them to the promised land.
There you go. All right, guys. This hour always goes so fast. You know that?
It does.
You guys are fun.
Y'all are fun.
So we have a good time, right?
That's right.
So we give a shout out to those games this week.
Yep.
We'll say War Eagle, come on Auburn, beat Alabama tonight. I'm going to flip that game on here in a minute, ESPN 2. You guys have a great evening. Todd, I'll see you this week, brother.
Yes, sir.
Y'all,
all right, man.
Peace out. Be safe.
Y'all be good.
Y'all, thanks for listening. All right, guys. This hour always goes so fast. You know that?
It does.
You guys are fun.
Y'all are fun.
So we have a good time, right?
That's right.
So we give a shout out to those games this week.
Yep.
We'll say War Eagle, come on Auburn, beat Alabama tonight. I'm going to flip that game on here in a minute, ESPN 2. You guys have a great evening. Todd, I'll see you this week, brother.
Yes, sir.
Y'all,
all right, man.
Peace out. Be safe.
Y'all be good.
Y'all, thanks for listening to Internet Broadcast Network. Good night, everybody.